And I thought this would be a great idea to bring it down to my company, a construction company, which is made up of a great spread of types of people. And so we're going to do a balloon trial down there, Don, and we talked about a 2-day session. And so it was a voluntary, mandatory meeting. And I invited the 40 or so key personnel at the time. One of the aids that Don always talked about was push your red button when the stress comes up. I have a crucifix and I squeeze it. You can't with these ties. I don't know. We don't wear ties in Hopla. But anyhow, that's my red button. And whenever I feel something come up, I just clutch on my crucifix there. But you can imagine some of these construction macho superintendents, you know, they're sitting there and their wives are there and they say, push a red button. Not me. I don't need a red button. I build freeways, I build bridges, I don't need red buttons. And it was quite an attitude, you know. But Don had a tremendous job to try to take these guys, and then upper management that were a little more smoother. But he did a wonderful job with that diverse an audience. It was incredible. But I decided that I would go out, and I do this every year anyhow. I go out and interview all my employees, my key employees, one-on-one every year. And now it's taken about an hour and 10 minutes. It used to be about 35 or 40 minutes, but they're opening up more. It's a personal thing that I'm the only one that knows what they say. And I have a litany of questions I ask. It's about an 8-page questionnaire. And they have very good confidence in that it's going to go nowhere but me. And it's going to make our company a much better place for them and for the company. And I've been doing this for 3 years now, and it's been very, very helpful. But part of it was to ask them about the attitudinal healing. And I did. And the results were so positive, I was overwhelmed. And I gave all the results to Don and said, you're just not going to believe these results from these macho guys. Right? So I go in the trailer and I'm talking to the superintendent. And I said, well, what do you think about the red button? He says, it's right here, Lynn. It's right here. So they have the red buttons. They just don't want to let anybody know they had them. So when I was coming up here, I stopped at our 101 job in Los Angeles, in a very stressful job. It's in a very narrow area, and there's millions and millions of problems. And we have a grade foreman out there who's one of these dirt-kicking macho superintendents. And I asked him if it's made a difference in his life. And he says, I use it daily. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't make it through the day. So I'm just telling you, the proof is in the pudding, and it's happened at our company, and I just know it takes work and it takes an attitude, but you have to change their attitudes, and you have to make them understand what it is. I'm convinced we did the right things. I'm anxious to finish my interviews to see what comes out of the whole 70 people I'm interviewing, 40 or 50 of which were at the clinic. But I've seen the change. When I go in the office, it's pleasant. It's Mr. Brutoco, how are you? Every one of them looks up. They used to keep their head down like this when I went by their door. And I've changed dramatically. And I know Ronaldo mentioned it and Dick, and I really firmly believe that had I taken stress relief long time ago, I would never have had the 2 quadruple bypasses I had. I'm absolutely positive of that. And I know if you're a heart patient, you know what these are, nitroglycerin. You carry that with you all the time just in case things don't go right. Well, I haven't had one of these in a year and a half. Whoa. I just take 6 a day. But the interesting part was when my daughter, about 6 months ago, said, Dad, I don't recognize you. You're so calm. No more of those Italian expletive deletives. So we live in a stressful environment, and you have to change it, believe me. I understand that. It's not something you can measure quantitatively. I cannot sit here and say that this has changed the bottom line for Brutoco and positively show you proof of that, other than the bottom line has changed. But it's in the feeling of what's going on, I know it is. And for instance, our workman's comp is down $450,000 less this year in claims than last year. We get $20,000 worth of claims this year. We had $500,000 last year. Wow. And I don't know how much is attributed to that, but you know, if you're in a better mood and a better attitude, you don't get in accidents. It isn't so much only the stress that causes workman's comp, it's the stupid things you do when you're stressed. And I can't tell you how much of that. We're going to get a $400,000 rebate, and that's not bad for the bottom line. It's had an effect on Brutoco engineering, and what we discuss here all weekend has been a better workplace for your employee. I can't imagine anything you could do better than that. So I'm a firm believer of it, and it's worked at Brutoco. Thank you.
Right.